go through so much, man, and do actually pleasing. This is the madness of the heathen, man. This is the madness of the heathen. Man in dress, corruption.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 31 and verse 5.
Bring it up.
He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof.
So the man that loves to follow gold, that loves to follow money, the love of money, is under corruption.
This book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 31 and verse 5.
Bring it up.
He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof.
And he that follows corruption is going to have enough thereof. He's going to be in corruption, just like how his money is corrupted.
Gold had been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present.
So money and the love of money and gold has been the destruction of many, because a lot of our people are still have died for peas, saying that if you don't rub me my peas, it's gonna be a long day, or be on your 10 toes if you don't rub me my peas. This is all relates back to we shouldn't be hating one another in our hearts.
Right.
We shouldn't be having usury onto our people, saying, if you don't give me the money that you owed me in a certain amount of time, I'm going to charge interest, because interest is a sin.
Right.
It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith.
So every fool is going to be taken onto the love of money. Every fool is going to think, oh, how can I increase this and that? How can I make more money on it? And then you go as far as to robbing your people to gain that money. And then you know, when after claps come now, you're saying, oh, but why me? Why does my money have to perish? Because you're damn wicked to get in it, that's why.
Proverbs 11 verse 4. Riches profit nothing in the day of wrath.
So, in the day of vengeance, when the Lord comes back, what is your riches going to do? You can't pay a ransom to the Lord. Mark Zuckerberg can't get saved. What's that? Bill Gates can't get saved. What's another rich man? Really? Jeff Bezos ain't going to be able to get saved. Elon Dirty Musk ain't going to be saved.
right.
And
Teach,
Trump can't get saved either. So, you think your money, JP Barnes, you think your money can save you? No, it can't save you. It can only make you live for so long and live the lifestyle that you want. That's why we tell Esau, go and live it up, man. This is your kingdom. Buy a yacht, buy a Boeing 787, buy a big jet. Live it up, this is your kingdom.
right.
Spend all of your money and get broke. That means the distribution of money can come down. But anyway, read on.
But the righteousness that delivered from death.
But the righteous will be delivered from death, because we'll know how to move.
Right.
We'll know that we, the kings and princesses of the earth.
Throw some water over here. Get clean.
Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29 and verse 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold.
So we have to lay up our treasure under the hand and under the commandments of the Most High, which means we have to continue to keep faith. We can't be weak out here,
Right.
because faith is a massive thing. We have to continue to fast. We have to continue to pray. We can't just give up and say, oh, this is too hard. No matter what we're going through, we have to continue to endure, to We have to continue to stand up right for the Most High, because He's the one that has got us to this point that we're at now. The things that we prayed for from before, we have gone past it. So the things that we prayed for, we've forgotten that we've even prayed for it, but the Lord's made us obtain it. So we have to continue to keep that faith.
Right.
We have to continue to lay out that treasure. Because once we lay out that treasure, we're in good deeds. We're in good success. We're not wanting of anything. Because then the Most High will put that spirit of not wanting anything on you.
Right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 16. All the works of the Lord are exceedingly good, and whatsoever He commandeth shall be accomplished in due time, in due season.
So all the works of the Most High are good, and what He's going to command is going to be accomplished when He wants it to be accomplished, not when we want it to be accomplished.
Right.
When we say, oh, I want to get a big payout, I want to get a big check. No, if the Most High doesn't want it like that, you're not going to get it like that. And He, whatever His time is, we have to just work with it.
Right.
Rather than running down riches in this world, which we know doesn't profit us. Rather than working overtime on the Sabbath and to get a little bit more change.
Right.
Because if you do, first of all, you're breaking the laws, and second of all, that money is just going to dwindle down very quickly and perish in the day of the Lord's vengeance.
Right.
Get me that chapter 5.
This is Book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it.
So Ananias and his wife sold a piece of land, but he did usury. He put more money than it was actually worth. And that's fraud. We shouldn't be frauding or fraudulent onto our people. But we're going to get into who we can be fraudulent to.
And brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost?
So now, because Peter is an apostle of Yahawashi, he's working with the Holy Spirit. So he knows that this land isn't worth as much as Ananias is selling it to him for. He knows that through the Holy Ghost that, hold on, this man's trying to be fraudulent. And it says that we're not supposed to defraud one another. We're not supposed to charge interest to one another.
Right.
Because that's wickedness in the sight of the Most High.
And to keep back part of the price of the land, whilst it remained. Was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto Yahawah.
No, because they're two separate entities, mate. But it says that you haven't lied unto me or unto a man, you've lied unto the Most High. Because
right.
Peter was going to use that land to practice righteousness, not to practice no wickedness, not to go set up a shop and make people come in on the Sabbath day. That wasn't his mission. His mission to purchase that land was to do good. So now we're going to listen to what's going to happen to Ananias when you defraud your people.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 5. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost.
No, he stayed alive.
And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost.
So he fell down and he died because he didn't follow after the commandments of God. He followed after his own self, his own knowledge, and his own vain will. which meant that he had to pay the price.
And great fear came upon all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out, and buried him. Verse 7. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. Verse 8. And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether ye sold the land for so much. And she said, Yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord?
So now his wife, because she didn't know he was dead, now Peter's gone up to his wife and said, Have you sold this land to me for more than it's worth? And his wife said, No, because his wife knew what Ananias, because Ananias was a tricky guy, which meant he's a guy that practiced fraud, bangs out fraud. That's why we're not supposed to bang fraud. We're supposed to be kind-hearted to one another, not steal a next man's money, because that's what you're doing. And in the commandments it says you're not supposed to steal.
Behold, the feet of them which had buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out.
So just when the young men carried Ananias to go bury him, the young men came back, and Peter said, just like they have gone to bury your husband, they come to bury you.
Verse 10. Then she fell down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost.
And then she went and died, because they committed fraud. They were fraudulent, and we're not supposed to be fraudulent people unto our brothers and sisters. Now get me Leviticus chapter 25.
This is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 36.
Bring it out.
Take down no usury of him, or increase, but fear the Lord, but fear Yahawah, that thy brother may live with thee.
So we can't be tempted into charging interest onto our brothers and sisters, because that's not how the law commanded for us to go.
Right.
So if a man lends you something, give it back on time, the amount he's lending. And if you can't pay it on time, the brother who's lent you that money, let mercy be upon that brother, because there's a lot of our people that have gone and killed one another for money and for usury.
Right.
And for charging more than they're given. So we're not supposed to be doing these things. This is how we avoid trouble. This is how we avoid hating one another.
Luke chapter 6 verse 34. If ye lend to them of whom ye hope to receive, what thank you ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again.
So we can't be a sinner and lend to a sinner, because if we lend to a sinner, we're not going to get that back up again.
Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. I am the Lord your Yahawah, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your Yahawah.
Right. Read Deuteronomy.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 19. Thou shalt not, verse 19, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury.
So Moses had to come back and repeat it. Just like he said in Leviticus, he said in Deuteronomy. We're not supposed to charge interest onto our brothers and sisters. We're not supposed to say, I lend you £50, but if you don't pay it back in this amount of time, I'm going to charge interest of £100. That's wickedness.
Right.
Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury.
This is how special we are. Onto a stranger, so this is why we should be controlling the banks.
Right.
Onto the stranger, we can charge interest. We can charge, if we want, if they're supposed to pay us 100, we can charge them all £1,000, all 2,000, 3,000 grand. How much we want to charge, because we're in charge. That's how we're supposed to be running. But we can only do that onto the stranger. We can't do that onto our own people. Because our own people, we're not supposed to charge interest onto our own people.
And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxing poor, and be sold unto thee,
So that means he's in grievous debt. He's in debt that he can't pay off. What are you supposed to do?
thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondman.
So we're not supposed to keep our brothers to be a servant and be a servant for us. We're not supposed, that's never supposed to happen in Israel.
Right.
We're never supposed to see another Israelite and say, yo, you're going to be my servant, man.
But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee.
Because just like in times of King David and King Solomon and David, they had servants of Israel, but they were servants that got paid, that didn't have any bondage contracted to them. They were free servants, should I say.
Right.
And shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee, and then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with a rigor, but shalt fear thy Yahawah.
So we're not supposed to rule over our people with rigor, which means we're not supposed to chastise and beat and be wicked unto our people.
Right.
Because our brother is just like us. That's why it says, get me Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17.
But both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen.
No, they should be of our people.
They shall be of the heathen.
So they're supposed to be of the heathen. Any nation that is not of the Israelites, we could take them for a bondman and bondwoman.
Right.
Do you know what a bondman is? Do you know what a bondman is, mate? No, they don't. But they're soon gonna know. Because they're gonna be our bondman. They're gonna be our bondwoman. They're gonna be our little slaves and our little servants, coming and doing our work that they were supposed to do from the beginning. And it's not gonna be no easy bondage. It's gonna be a tough bondage. They put us under tough bondage, and the Lord says we're supposed to give to them double
Right.
for what they did to us. So don't think you're gonna get away with it scotch-free. And don't think because there was a lady who came last week, and when our brother was teaching, saying, oh, but it was just the men. No, the women are getting it too. Because the women used to tell lies on the men, and they used to tell lies upon the next women. They used to beat the women. They used to take glass and rock it over the women's head because they were jealous of our women. So you're not getting away with nothing.
Right.
You're gonna be in the field picking cotton, picking anything that I need to be picked. And you're gonna be a good slave. And we're gonna be like, good boy, good buster, good whatever. Or else. Big rod of iron.
Right. This is book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So we're not supposed to hate our brother in our minds. we're not supposed to let sin be onto our brothers and sisters, but we're supposed to, and we're not supposed to have a grudge or any vengeance on our brothers and sisters, because that's not what is permitted. What's permitted unto us is to love one another as we love ourselves. What's permitted unto us is getting understanding of the laws so that we can practice it, so that we can all live in one as harmony. Because our people don't know peace. Our people only know drill music. They only know derogatory things that are here to depress us and kill us.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
We're supposed to love each other as we love ourselves. We're supposed to love, it doesn't matter if you're from the northern kingdom or from the southern kingdom, we're all one at the end of the day, because the Most High loves us as one.
Right.
So we need to stop also hating on, especially in Israel, but with the people in purple and gold saying, oh, we've only got the truth. If you're not in the purple and gold, you're not in the truth. Because that's not what is permitted. There's other camps out here that are putting in the work. There's other camps out here that are putting in the work in the Most High same way, just like the purple and gold. And we're supposed to love one another. Because we love our people, we love the purple and gold, we love Shikari, we love Sons of Thunder, we love Rock of Yahawashi, we love Believers of the Way, we love all the camps.
That's right.
Because all the camps are fighting for the same thing. We need to save this vengeance and this hatred for the people, for the coons of our nation.
Right.
Rather than having this vengeance and hatred for our own brothers and sisters that are in the truth, what sense does it make? Because we're supposed to love one another. We don't know love. Everyone hates us, but now when the people in the truth, we're gonna hate too. That makes no sense.
Right.
We're supposed to love one another because that's what's permitted from the Most High to do. To love, not hate.
Chapter 4 and verse 1. My son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long.
So we're not supposed to defraud the poor people. We're not supposed to practice fraud on the poor people. Take away all that they have in their savings account and give it to another, and give it to your back pocket. This is why Esau's wicked, because he knows that the people are poor, yet he's still raising energy bills. He's still raising council tax. Council tax is extortionate. And he's barely paying us enough to get by from month to month. Right, King? You right?
Verse 2. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man to his distress.
So we're not supposed to make a hungry soul to be in sorrow. We're not supposed to, we know that our brother is not in a good case. We're not supposed to make him go hungry.
Right.
We're supposed to be charitable unto one another, because charity is something that the Most High loves. And we're not doing charity to be men pleasers.
Right.
We're doing charity out of the kindness of our heart. And it's not to give it onto a sinner. Because if you give charity onto a sinner, you can inherit that man's sin. So we're giving in charity to our own people that we know that is mindful of the Lord.
Right.
Add no more trouble to an heart that is vexed, and therefore not to give to him that is in need. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted.
So we're not going to forget or reject the supplication of the afflicted. We're all going through the same thing. So if we hear that our brother or our sister may be starting up a business, invest in that business and buy one or two couple products from that business so that they can, rise up, so that they have a little business that they know that they can fall back on.
Neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy.
So we're not supposed to turn away our faces from, if we see the poor of our nation, we can't just turn away our faces. We have to either give them the word or give them money or try and help them out of that position that they're in. This is why I say that charity is a good thing if we know how to give it.
Right.
And give it righteously, rather than just give it onto the next homeless man that we see on the street. He takes that money and sells and gets drugs with it. Gets all kinds of weed, all kinds of coke, all kinds of crack.
And give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the richness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him.
So if you don't give and you're being boastful to the person that's in the poor, the Most High's going to hear his words when he curses you out. And then bad things are going to happen to you through it.
Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to a great man. Let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor, and give him a friendly answer with meekness.
So it shouldn't be distress, it shouldn't be trouble for us to bow our heads down to a great man, to an elder of our nation, and onto our people, because we're supposed to show each other respect and love. But with that, I'm going to close out and give it on to our next mighty and powerful speaker, who's going to continue this word in truth and continue in the faith.
Right.
And I say, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Rashad, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Rashad. I'm Manuela, Shalawah, Kwam Yasharahla, Kwam Yasharahla.